Hi everybody, I am here today with my brand new mini album kit. This is using Graphic 45 Spring is in the Air collection. Now this is a pre-cut and scored mini album kit, so everything will be ready for you to assemble using the assembly instructions. I'm going to get into the kit in just a moment. You will get the chipboard basket. It is in 5 pieces. I will show this to you in just a moment, and you'll get all of the stuff that you need to decorate it like this. Then we have the album here that has the chipboard cover. It has this hollow faux rounded spine, and it's got all the pages are cut for you and scored for you, as well as all of the decorative papers. You do get the embellishments here, the gems, you get the ribbons. So everything that you see here will be included in your kit for you. Now the only thing that is not done in your kit is I used a corner rounder on my corners on my flaps. I did not cut any of the corners on any of the kit pages. That way, if you prefer square corners, you can keep your corners square. If you want rounded corners, you can use a corner rounder on them. That is the only difference between what you will see here and what is available in the kit. So next, I'm going to walk through what the kit entails and show you what it looks like in case you're not sure what a pre-cut mini album kit is. You can get an idea about if this is something that you would like to do. Right at the front of the kit is the assembly guide. So it is double-sided. So this one is 14 pages. It has step-by-step instructions and it has photos for the decorative part. It does not have photos for the base building piece. It's pretty self-explanatory though, so all the pieces are labeled. I will show you here in just a moment, and it tells you how to go through and adhere these pieces together. Now, if you've followed any of my other digital tutorials previously, they are very in-depth. They're usually around 100 pages because they have step-by-step instructions one at a time along with photos. This is not exactly like that because all the pieces are cut for you. They only go in one place. They're a little bit easier to follow, and the albums are a little bit more simplified just because the kit is designed for a beginner or an intermediate or an advanced crafter. The instructions here are very helpful for you to be able to just go step by step through the kit. Now these are all the contents of the kit. Now your pages will actually be marked here like my cover is, and they will be taped closed or they'll be folded over. So these are not finished being prepared because I want to pull these out to show you what they look like. I'm going to start with this. This is the album base, and I'm just going to pull the whole thing out to show you what this looks like. These pieces are actually in order of how you are going to use them. The first several pieces are marked with letters, and these correspond with starting with your cover. So they're going to help you to connect your covers together. These are your spine pieces, and then we have here the actual pages themselves. I do not miter the ends on the tabs. You can do that if you prefer to do that. The only ones that I do miter are if there is a pocket. I think there's one pocket in here that I did miter because it has tabs around 3 sides. So if you're a beginner and don't know how to miter a pocket, I did miter those ones for you. Now, once we get into the flaps and things for the pages, these pieces are numbered. So they just correspond with the numbers on the instructions. So you would just go through and build page by page. So everything is included here for the album base. So I would recommend that you build your base first and then start with the decorative papers. For my decorative papers, each page will get a separate bag, starting with the front cover. We have all of the pieces here for the front cover on the inside and the outside. So these pieces are the parts that cover the hinge. So there are 11 of these. And we've got pieces for the inside cover, and then we've got the outside cover cut for you. So again, everything is cut and ready to go. Next, we have individual pages. They will have a label on them whenever you receive your kit. All of the pieces for page 1 are in here. Now, for these pieces, they are not in order of how you are going to put them on the page. Now, this one is actually in order because this is the first one I cut, and I go through to make sure that every piece is accounted for so that whenever I cut future ones, everything will be ready. So the person who gets this one will be the lucky person who can just go ahead and put their pieces together pretty easily. But you can go through pretty quickly. I do give descriptions of the papers, and then the sizes are pretty easy to match up as well. So we've got all the papers for side 1 and 2, or I should say front and back of page 1, included in the same bag. Now that's the same for 2, page 3, and page 4. So I'm not going to take all of those out and show you, but they all have individual pieces like that. And then we have the rest of the things that you need. So starting here, this is my chipboard cover in the basket and the embellishments. So I'm going to take this out to show you how this will arrive to you. So first we have the embellishments, and this is a double layer for these chipboard tulips. So they are double layered. The baskets and the butterflies are single layer. Then we have our album cover. So we've got the back cover. This is the spine for the hollow spine. This is the inner spine, so if you don't want to do that curved spine, you can just use this spine and just leave it like that. This is the back cover. The back cover is the one that always has my logo on it, just so that you can tell it apart. And then here, next, we have the basket. So the basket comes in 5 pieces. We have these 2 smaller pieces here that are the sides, and then we have the bottom piece. And then here is the basket, so we've got the front and the back side, so they are mirror image. So when you turn them over, it's blue on one side and it's white on the back side. So you'll know whenever you go to put this together, you flip this over and then they will be mirror image. And then this piece, like I said, this is the bottom piece, and there is a full tutorial for putting the basket together, and there's also a full tutorial for putting the cover together. And I'll talk more about those in just a minute. And these pieces are here, they will curve. You'll curve these pieces in the tutorial to put these on here. So we've got all these chipboard pieces to go with the kit. Next up in the kit, we do have the Graphic 45 ephemera assortment. So in the instructions, it will tell you which piece to select, and it will have ephemera assortment in parentheses, so you know when to go to your ephemera assortment. And then in the final piece here, I have all of the ribbons that you need for the album and for the basket. I've got some magnets in here for the magnets for the closures. And then here, I've got all of these little gems. So you get 5 extra just in case you lose one, but there are plenty in here. And then we've got a little piece of chipboard here as well, because I used a little bit of extra piece of chipboard for dimension on my front cover. And then the very final thing in the kit is just the leftover paper that I use in case you want to add anything additional to your book. I do not cut the papers for the pull-out photo mats for the top loading pockets, so that is where you have your extra paper that you can decide how you want to decorate those. I do tell you how I decorate mine, but if you want to make yours different, you have the paper left over that you can do so. Now these are not part of the kit, but they are something that match. So we do have these double-sided, or the 2 layers in the album, but I do have a set of chipboard tulips here, just single layer, if you would like to have additional tulips. These are also available in a pink color, so you can find those on my website. They will be linked in the description box below. So these are an add-on, they are not part of the kit. If you are considering purchasing the mini album kit that you see here, I do have a tutorial showing you how I assembled my basket. You can do this with hot glue like I did, or you can use regular craft glue, but you will need to take some more time because it takes a little bit longer for those pieces to dry. And then I also have a tutorial for showing you how to decorate the cover, because a lot of people might not know how to make this hollow rounded spine. So I just did a tutorial showing you how to bind the 3 pieces of the cover together and then how to make that hollow spine. And then I went a step further and I just did a tutorial in addition to that showing you how I decorated my cover. Now it might be helpful for you if you are going to follow along with the Spring is in the Air kit, but if you purchase the cover by itself and you want to use this on a different album, you don't have to watch that part of the tutorial, but it will show you how to make the album itself. I will link the kit down below, so if you're interested in purchasing that, you can go ahead and go to my website. There are only a limited number of kits available. If it is really popular, I will order more paper so that I can cut more kits, so we can see how that goes. Now, if you are interested in just purchasing the basket, I do have that available for sale individually on my website. It will be linked in the description box below as well. And I will also have the link for the cover available. So if you just want to purchase the cover, the 4 pieces, so the front and back cover and the 2 spines, that will be available for you as well. And like I mentioned before, I do have these chipboard pieces here available, so they will be linked for you, so you can pick and choose what you want to purchase. But don't forget, if you are ordering the kit, the basket, and the album, and the chipboard that you need to decorate it to follow the tutorial is all included. So anything else would be additional. I would love to hear your comments on what you think about these mini album kits. This is a new product that I am offering, so I would love to know if you are interested in them, if you find them useful, if they're too complicated, if they're not complicated enough. Any feedback you have, I would love to hear it, so feel free to leave me a comment below. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.